Welcome to our podcast, Disability Warriors, The Download, powered by Liner Legal, your disability warriors, fighting for dignity, justice, and the benefits that you deserve. Each episode, we bring you powerful stories, real legal insight, and everything you need to feel informed, supported, and never alone. Whether you are navigating the complex disability process yourself, supporting a loved one, or just want to understand the system a little better, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit follow now so you never miss an episode. And if you're ready to take the next step, head to our website at linerlegal.com to schedule your free case review.
Because your voice matters.
Your fight matters.
And we're with you every step of the way. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another exciting episode. I call them all exciting. This one probably won't be. It's going to be a super exciting episode.
Oh, yeah.
Of the Disability Download. I've got an incredible gentleman here, dressed up in normal fashion, Jordan Lebovitz.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm so grateful that you've came back. This is actually the third podcast episode that we've recorded together, which I think might be a record, my friend.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Well, I know you're gonna deliver some material to me and the audience today. I brought you on today because there's something that's been on my mind a lot lately that I want to talk to you about, which is referral marketing. And Jordan, for those of you who don't know, is a partner, owner of one of the largest injury firms in Ohio. I would say the one that probably has the best reputation for quality, Nuremberg Paris. And what's interesting to me is in your field, even though, I mean, you guys do some of like the traditional legal marketing. Like
we do.
I was in Toledo a couple weeks ago and saw your face waving at me as I drove by.
Did you wave back?
I did not. I did give it the birdie. I think that what's really impressed me though is what you've really always done a good job seeking out are referral partners from other attorneys. How important is that to your business? How does it differ from the type of client that comes to you from like the billboard marketing or LSA type stuff? I want to learn more about it.
I mean, traditionally, the most thoroughly vetted cases, qualified cases that have a significant potential upside outcome come from a referring partner or from a referring attorney, right? And the reason oftentimes is that case came from a family member, a friend, a cousin, some sort of affiliate who knew an attorney that doesn't specialize in what we specialize in. So that's already a pre-qualified and vetted lead, so you say, that then comes into our office that we know is from a trustworthy source. There is a connection, an automatic connection. It requires diligence, but a little bit less diligence because you know where it's coming from and you can trust the source of where that person's coming from. It allows us to engage much more rapidly and to be able to dig in even quicker, in my opinion.
Play this game with me. So I'm thinking about when we do an intake in my office, we always, just because we're obsessed with understanding what's working, what's not working, right, we ask, how did you hear about us? And there's attorney referral, doctor referral, social media, general website. I mean, the whole list, television, billboard. Right. We don't do TV and billboard, but I'm just kind of going through there. If you were to rank, and I know I threw a lot at you, but if I were to throw out which type of case you get most excited about, which one you think is going to be most likely to be the type of client you want, the type of case that you want, because client and case aren't the same thing. How would you rank those? What's the pecking order of legal marketing?
Gosh, it's really hard.
And you got to do them all too. That's the part that's like really challenging.
It is challenging. I mean, so we have a holistic kind of 360-degree approach, right? Because no matter, it's the truth, right? It's because no matter how you cut it, right?
I'm going to just start dropping that in random sentences.
360?
I think if you say, I've got a holistic 360 approach, well, would you like some French fries? Well, let me take a holistic 360 approach to this order. Anything sounds better when you drop that in there. But tell us about holistic 360 at Nuremberg.
I mean, by the way, third time's the charm, right?
Third time's the charm.
Here's the holistic 360.
We've been recording for 5 minutes and he's already holistic 360. Shit.
Here's the deal, right? no matter what the end user is reporting to your intake team or to the lawyer or to the staff as how they heard about you, more likely than not, it is a multitude of platforms, right? And that multitude is from linear TV, right? CTV or like internet TV. It goes from billboard, from any sort of other sources, especially internet, social. They see all of these things. And then when something bad happens, you are first thought to mind. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal of, legal marketing. But the truth is that none of that happens unless you're authentic. And so for us, we've been around for 98, now approaching 99 years of business. We were the first firm to advertise on TV in Ohio. And the reason why we continue to do this and to look upward and, beyond and beyond and have this trajectory is to see how we can continue to be our authentic self, right? And reach people to where they are. But if someone says, oh, I found you on Google, sure, they may have typed Nuremberg Paris in on Google, but they remember the TV commercial that they saw 2 years ago, which is why they typed in Nuremberg Paris or Liner Legal. Like they saw you on social, and instead of just clicking the call button, they then went to Google, typed in Liner Legal Disability, and then called you from there. So that's the 360 approach. And I think you do it incredibly effectively. I like to think we do it incredibly effectively. You talk about the pecking order, though, right? It's hard to say. We get great cases from all different sources, but obviously our biggest compliment is getting a case from a prior client. Yeah. Right? There's no question, because we know that. I didn't even mention that. You're right. It's the truth, right? If a prior client has one of their friends, family members, cousins, or coworkers call you, you know that the person would only tell them to call if they had a good experience with you. You know what's so interesting? And I don't remember if we've ever talked about this, but it was probably 10 years ago at this point, because I remember what my office looked like when I was doing this. But I wanted to go through and figure out where most of my clients who were referred by past clients had come from. Right. And you're nodding your head like maybe I've told you this, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating it, but it was shocking to me when I looked at the results of, I made a list of like the top 20 refers, and something like 15 of the past clients of mine who had referred more clients than anybody else, I lost their case. And it's this weird thing where, I mean, I can only like look at that and dream about it and think about why that might be. One, clearly, we handled them with dignity. True. And when you make somebody feel seen, heard, valued, the outcome, is maybe less important to them. Which doesn't mean that getting disability benefits, what they hired me for, was not important. But usually when somebody loses a disability case, especially after having a hearing and going through it with a prepared attorney, they know why they lost. You didn't have enough treatment. Your doctors weren't writing things down. Like, it's nothing that you could like blame on the attorney. When we get paid on a case, when we win, we get a fee, and most of the time the person thinks they got what they had coming to them, right? They got paid. But when somebody loses a case, but you treated them well, they almost like, they just don't forget that. And I would have never understood that had I not gone through and done that. Have you guys ever tried to do that to find out which of your past clients have referred the most? We haven't done a statistical analysis, but I could tell you from like anecdotal experience, some of my favorite Google reviews are from cases and from people that we didn't take. Right. And so I'm sure just like you and your reviews and your process, like you're describing, I've seen even just lately because of our intake team, and they're handling the potential client with dignity. Right. And with grace, and telling them, I'm sorry, this is not a case that we can handle. They were so respectful about it. We've gotten actually some incredible reviews from clients cases we didn't even take. It's interesting. I just put out something on LinkedIn yesterday where, you only know the outcome of your case one time. You get one outcome. Like, you settle that. Nobody knows if, our good friend Alan, who was just in here, who also, there's some crossover in your practices. No doubt. Nobody's going to ever know if, had they hired him instead of you, they would have gotten more money, less money. If they had hired Elk & Elk, another large firm in town, if they would have gotten them more money. So, you're left with an outcome, but what you
that you can't compare, but what you do know is how they made you feel supported, thought of throughout. And so we've become obsessive over communication with clients, and not just communication, but proactive communication. Because I think that's really what puts bad flavor in people's mouths. That's what gets the 1-star review. It's not, they didn't get me enough money. It's they didn't return my fucking call.
I mean, that's client service in a nutshell, right? Yeah. I mean, it's about meeting someone where they are, right? And you do that so effectively. I think that we try to do that as well. It's about trying to meet someone where they feel most comfortable. If it's at their house, if it's by text, if it's by phone, if it's by email, if it's video chat, whatever it is, we want to meet them where they are most comfortable. And just like you said, return the call. It's not that hard. Everybody has the ability on their phone at the office, just like yours does, to send a quick text. Yeah. It's really not that hard. Yeah. And you can automate, you can AI that all you want, but at the end of the day, the client just wants to be heard. And so when you respond, they remember that.
I would say one of the problems that we have, and I'm curious if you've, run into this at all, is now that we're in 2026, there's like limitless ways to communicate. You just named a million of them: phone, text, email, video. I don't think I even said email. There's just so many different ways of client communication. We've got, an app with a portal in it. It's hard for a staff to be able to effectively monitor all of that communication, because to my knowledge, and I don't know if you've ever come across anything like this, each of those channels really needs to be monitored independently. So I've got a team of case managers that are constantly reviewing, checking to see if they missed any calls. They're checking where the texts come. They're looking at their email. They're looking in the app to see if there are any messages. And it's like, boy, it is really hard to do. How do you guys manage that? How do you navigate that?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's hard, right? And it's hard to do that. For us, it's also about knowing the client. So oftentimes, more often than not, we are trying to find where the client is most comfortable with communication, so that each of our case managers and our staff know this particular client, like Jane Smith, really only likes text message, so that when they open up that case file, they know this is a text message client. Yeah. And then when they open up Johnny, Johnny's file, he only likes to email. And so they're only looking at email. We try to aggregate it that way and segregate it that way. But at the end of the day, you got a bunch of different platforms. You're checking them all. Yeah. You want to make sure that you do it right.
I'd say texting has become just so much more accepted and used by attorneys. The problem that we've run into, and I'm curious if your clients have responded to it any different, is when you start responding to somebody's text, their patience for a response goes way down.
That's so true.
The problem is that when one of my case managers is, if the preferred method of communication is text messaging, they send a message back to the person. That person thinks when they respond that my case manager is just waiting there to send them another text. And it doesn't work that way. Like they have to move on to the next task because they don't know how long it's going to take you to respond. And I've actually ran into some like frustrating, some frustrated clients who are like, well, I sent you a text and then, even though you sent the one, you didn't respond to the next one, for 3 hours later. Well, it's kind of how it goes.
It is how it goes. And I mean, there's only really two ways to tackle that. Right. Number one is setting expectations early. Yeah. So like we try very hard to set the expectation that they may not get a response right away. I mean, I tell all my clients, most, if not all, have my personal cell phone and they have the ability to text me. I tell them, I got 3 young kids. I'm up at all hours of the night, but if it's at 2:00 in the morning, I am probably not responding to you right away. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, give me a break. Give me a little grace. The other thing is to try to conclude the conversation via text before moving on to the next task. It is just really hard to do that sometimes. Impossible. It is. I hate when I get the little reaction of a question mark from a client on their own question that they asked you. You could do that on your iPhone. It's like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm at court. I'm in a meeting. I physically can't respond to you right now.
And similar to that, we have clients who they'll say, you know, like you're saying, you know, I sent you an email. Why did it take so long to respond? It's like, you didn't hire me to respond to emails. You hired me to get ready for a hearing and be ready when if I'm in your hearing, do you want me to be responding to some other client's text message or email, or do you want me to be focused on you and doing the work of winning a case? You get some colorful responses to that one.
I bet you do.
You know, I think that the $1 million idea, and I don't know if anybody's done it successfully, because there's so much money in keeping us divided.
We hear it here first.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Let me give you, this is my holistic 360 approach.
Yeah.
But if somebody could, you know, put all of those communication formats into one platform, that would make our lives a lot easier.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Does that exist?
I don't think it does.
Okay. Well, whoever listens to this first, capitalize on it.
There we go. My holistic 360 gift to you.
Uh-huh.
Jordan, thanks for joining me, buddy.
Thanks for having me, my friend, always.
I appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Disability Download. Thanks for tuning in to Disability Warriors, The Download. If today's episode inspired you, educated you, or gave you hope, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs it. Need help with your disability claim? Visit linerlegal.com today to schedule your free consultation. Stay connected with us on social media for more stories, insights, and victories from the disability community. Until next time, stay strong, stay empowered, and remember, you are not in this alone.
Because your voice matters.
Your fight matters.
And we're with you every step of the way.